The last 3 months were fucking insane. It's time for me to share my real story. If you're a creator, you're an obsessed creator, you're obsessed with your dream, you feel like that you're still playing small but your vision is completely insane and people call you crazy, this video might be for you. Because maybe you're developing a business that makes you feel still not aligned with your pure mission and the reason why God and the universe put you on earth. And I want to share with you how I got to building multiple six-figure businesses in just a matter of 3 to 4 months, how I spoke in front of stages of thousands of people, how I did all of that as soon as I understood how to be aligned with the mission that God put me on this earth. Because the reality is I try to follow every single coach's technique, coach's advices, build funnels, sales funnel, content, trying different content, try different systems, blah, blah, blah. But nothing was actually working, nothing was clicking to me until I understood how to build an aligned business with myself. And I'll share with you some story. I have been in the fucking hustle, I've been in the business space for over 4 years, and for 4 years I've tried many things. Literally, my first 2 years of business, from 19 to 22 years old, I was trying to do network marketing, so selling companies' products and building teams. I've always been putting all my heart and soul into selling someone else's business. And I was wondering why I was not exploding, why I was not making the money that I thought I could, because my potential was there and everyone was telling me, yeah, Remy, you can develop communities of thousands of people. Why is not that happening? Well, I get there in a second. Right after this, 21 years old, I decided to get into UGC as well, start doing content for brands and all of that. People were telling me, Remy, you have such a crazy potential. You can speak really well in front of the camera. You should definitely make a lot of money from UGC. Still, nothing happened. Still, I failed. And then in May 2025, I was lost. I was completely broken. My family was falling apart. My parents were about to divorce. My relationship ended. My 60, 70 people team in network marketing completely collapsed overnight. And I was left with myself and I in Bali. I took one-way flight and I went to Bali with the idea of surviving, like running away from everything, from Italy, from the little city I come from, and I left and I get to Bali. And in Bali, I walk upside down in this beach in Uluwatu, completely lost, imagining that all the pillars of my life completely fallen in just a matter of 1 week. Literally, everything I said, it fall in 1 week. And I was feeling so not aligned, and I was so numb, I would say, and empty. I then eventually, I was walking up and down in this beach in Uluwatu, and out of fucking nowhere, because I was walking close to the ocean, close to the beach, I started getting ideas, intuitions flowing in my head like never before, like crazy downloads. Now I know they were downloads from the universe, but before I didn't. I literally was so shocked. And the idea was to actually create a community of obsessed creators like I was. No more trying to pretend to be and fitting in boxes and fitting in systems that the coaches were telling me, fitting in boxes of what society was telling me, but finally creating something mine. And since that moment, something started clicking. The seed of everything was planted in May 2025 in Uluwatu. Now, from that moment on, I didn't decide to pursue that dream because I was so like it was new to me. I didn't know if it was something that I wanted to pursue, because I was still doing network marketing, I was still in UGC, and I was so emotionally attached to these two realities because they built myself. And I didn't let my dream become reality immediately because I was feeling that it was just an idea. 3 months after, though, I decided to take a decision to just launch a small digital product of 400 euros, helping people with social media and start creating that community. That was the idea. But still nothing clicked. I was actually making $5,000, $4,000 at that point. And then in September, I had another turning fucking point where I decided to leave. I decided to quit. I decided to quit UGC. I decided to quit network marketing, the business that I literally built myself for the last 3 years. And after I've done so, after I removed that weight of actually building someone else's business, building someone else's vision, and playing small by selling 500 euros products, I decided to go fucking all in and build my obsessed CEO community from there. And I actually made the 6 figures, 110,000 euros in just a matter of 3 months. From that moment, just literally in a span of it's like a click. It was fucking insane. And I developed a community of 30 people, and from that moment, I decided to launch one of the biggest masterminds back again in Bali, exactly a year after the moment I received that idea from the universe in May. Months comes by, I develop, I told you, a 6-figure business in just a matter of 3 months. But I was completely consuming my soul. I was working like day and night to make this dream come true. But actually, I was not following my dream. I was literally following what society was telling me. The content was like just a copycat of how social media was going right now. So it's like I didn't feel it mine. I didn't feel it completely aligned still with the business I was developing. Even though I built a 6-figure business, even though everything was fine, out of nowhere, in just a span of one day, overloaded of work, overloaded of responsibilities, overloaded financially. I overextended myself financially, responsibilities, my soul, my mind, everything was completely overextended, and then I broke. And I got a panic attack with suicidal thoughts in January 2026. I touched rock bottom again. But this is exactly when I started to wake up. The panic attack, the suicidal thoughts led me to a pursuit of spirituality, led me to a pursuit of understanding what was happening within me, my inner journey, my inner world, what's going on there. And I decided to do healing. I went to a healer for like a 3-month period. I spent thousands of dollars. At the same time, I get into EMDR therapy. I've done from A to Z everything you can think of in healing. I've actually done it. And that led me eventually to look inwards. And here it comes, my philosophy. Most coaches will tell you to apply systems, to apply funnels, to apply whatever system or whatever knowledge it is. It's just a superficial way of changing your business. Imagine your business, imagine your life as a home. If your spiritual world is completely fucked up, you're not aligned with whatever you're building, your business, your mission, whatever you're gonna be building on is gonna fall eventually. Maybe it's booming, 110,000 euros in just 3 months, but it was built on not solid foundation, not solid spirit awareness, not solid self-awareness, so everything completely fall. Because I was understanding that I was not building my dream from alignment, but I was building my dream from someone else's idea or someone else's pattern, until I decided to look inwards. My philosophy comes, build from within. Not build outside, not be like what everyone is telling you. Build from within. Look within you, do an inner journey, do a spiritual journey. Find that alignment, understand how to get to that mission, why God and the universe put you on earth. And then eventually you can upload with system, you can get the content and everything else. But if you're not able to understand what's your mission on earth, how can you are able to build a sustainable business that lasts? Suicidal thoughts and panic attacks was the biggest gift on earth, because they were literally the present of the universe for me to fucking wake up from stop building just for the sake of building, but building with alignment. So from that moment on, I still do business consulting. I still help creators, but I help obsessed creators, obsessed CEOs build a soul-aligned business that really reflects their mission. I've been through the trenches, I've been through the healing process, I've been through really dark fucking spots, and I understood with really clear frameworks how to build an aligned, soul-aligned business. And this is the beginning of a new era of obsessed CEOs with soul-aligned businesses. I feel myself in content now. You see, like, I just shared my story, my mission, my philosophy, and I don't need to fake. Like, I just put the camera on and start talking from my heart, and stop like trying to behave like a guru. This is how you should. It doesn't work for me. Like, they tell you like to do educational content and explain and teach them and give them value, but like, it has to come from within. I don't have a script. I'm just fucking yapping on a camera right now. This is exactly what I mean by from building within. You need to look inwards to build an empire that affects humanity. Because if you're an obsessed CEO and obsessed creator like the one that you are right now and you're watching on this video, you want to bring an impact in the world. You want to really change people's life. You don't want to do business because of the money. You want to do business because you actually want to give an impact in the world and help people in some sort of way, in some sort of transformation. How can you really tap into that uncapped potential if you don't look inwards and you understand your strength, you understand your mission? If you don't align with your mission, how can you get there? You can't. So I literally build frameworks during this healing process, during this spiritual awakening and spiritual like awareness, in order for me to get there and also for other CEOs to get there like me. So this is not gonna be just a transformation that me and you are gonna be going through by watching on this channel, but at the same time I wanna build a movement, a new movement of creators, a new movement of people, of entrepreneurs, of creators, of obsessed creators, of people that build businesses from a soul-aligned purpose and not being superficial. because majority of people right now are building businesses with an empty soul.